was close. Well, good evening and welcome to Salzburgring in Austria, round 4 of the Crest Autosport Raceroom League's DTM 2020 League, sponsored by the GP Box, the Motorsport Marketplace, Motorsport Memorabilia and Merchandise. You can find their link in our description of these videos wherever you're watching. This competition has prizes proudly donated by Freem UK and lovely stickers. Tonight, round 4 of the championship here at Salzburgring in West Austria, just a stone's throw away from the German border in West Austria. 300 kilometers west of Vienna, 130 kilometers southeast of Munich. Built in 1968, the track is visually famous for its picturesque mountainous location and of course the Red Bull Bridge. Red Bull also owning a majority of Salzburg's top flight football team. Salzburg and Leipzig in Germany. The track is 2.5 miles long, or 4.2 kilometers if that's your measurement system, and only costs £2.61 on Raceroom, so if you want to buy it, it's nice and cheap. 8 turns, 5 to the right, 3 to the left, and over the years, Salzburgring has hosted 3 editions of the World Touring Car Championship from 2012 to 2014, as well as 16 European Touring Car Championship races from 1970 to 1985. Not hugely popular nowadays with DTM, but in DTM's early installments in the late 80s, Salzburgring made many of an appearance. Tonight, we have a lot of racing in store for you. Approximately 60 minutes on track for these drivers in competitive driving. We'll start with qualifying in just under a minute's time, and then race 1 will follow with it being a 10-minute sprint race where the grid is based on qualifying, of course. And then race 2 will follow immediately after another 10-minute sprint race where the grids for that is based on the race 1 results, but the top 8 reversed. So whoever finishes 8th in race 1 will be on pole position for race 2. There'll be a short interval in between race 2 and race 3 where we'll set up the server, but then race 3 will be the 30-minute feature race, which has been the source of much drama this season, where the grids there and the ballast are based on qualifying. We started off all them weeks ago at Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit in the 92s. This is a season where half of it is in the 92 DTMs and half of it is in the 2020 DTMs back-to-back weeks. So this week we're at Salzburgring. All them weeks ago at Brands Hatch started off the campaign in the 92s. Then it was Brands Hatch Grand Prix again for the first round of the 2020s. Then it was Zandvoort in the Netherlands. Then Oschersleben for the first German track of the season. Then Zolder for Belgium's only appearance, and then Raceroom was 2 weeks ago in the 2020s. It's in reverse order now, so we're starting with Salzburgring, and then next week we're off to Raceroom. The penultimate round of the 2020s will follow in 2 weeks from today at Hockenheimring. Most will follow for the penultimate round of the 92s. Nürburgring will be the final round in 4 weeks' time for the 2020s we are viewing today. And then the final round, which says there the 30th of March, has been postponed till the 6th of April, will be the final round of the overall and the 92 DTM Championship at the Nordschleife, Green Hell. So here we go. Qualifying has started. Usually we'll get some housekeeping underway. We'll try and do that as quickly as can, but we will focus on qualifying in the next minute or so. So a little bit of a sit rep from last time, 2 weeks ago. We had a week off, but 2 weeks ago at the Raceroom, Mark Hayman took pole position in qualifying with championship rival and championship leader William Foyle in second. Ian Deeney having a good meeting last week until the final race, got third in qualifying. But William Foyle with a brilliant start in Heat 1 took the win, and Albin Kilgren having a fantastic race to come through the pack and finish second. Mark Hayman managing third in the end. Heat 2 seems to be Alex Foyle's favourite race. He's had 3 wins in in Heat 2 this season across most of the events. He took the win in Heat 2 with Mark Hayman, another podium finish in second. Ben Payne, who's having a great campaign, took third in the second heat. And in the feature race, William Foyle is the master of the feature races, and he proved it again 2 weeks ago, taking first there with his brother taking second spot, and their teammate Ben Payne making it a Crest Autosport, would you believe it, 1, 2, 3. And the championship will go like this. William Foyle leads the way ahead of Mark Hayman, 38 points ahead. with Ben Payne drawing on points with Paul Hands in third. And the drivers have started qualifying, so what we'll do is we'll go on board with championship leader William Foyle for nearly a lap of the Salzburgring in Austria, warming up his tyres still. This is an outlap, so we'll get on board with him later on. But back to the auto director, as Alex Foyle is one of the furthest up when it comes to progress through the session so far. He is on a flying lap, comes through the final sector here, into the chicane he goes through the right-hander, now the final left-hander, and down the fast straight and under the bridge he'll come to finish lap 1 here at Salzburgring. And Alex Foyle crosses the line with a 1:11.394, and we have seen drivers do laps in the 10s. So here we go. We're looking for William Foyle, and William Foyle will start a brand new lap. So our championship leader will take us on a tour of Salzburgring. So you're coming into the first chicane there, a right and then a left. Don't take too much of the curb and don't accelerate the car too quickly. DRS open as he spurts towards the long right-hander coming up on the far left of the track. Long right-hander here, third gear, easing the power on around the banked corner. Now flat out all the way along this long section, all the way to the far right and easterly side of the track. Flat out all the way down here, approaching 300 kilometers an hour. Won't quite reach it in these cars, but DRS wide open and into the right-hander. He keeps DRS open, just struggling with the wheel, but getting around the corner, breaking into the long right-hander now on the far right and bottom of the circuit. Now coming into sector 3, left, right, and then left again to finish off the lap. Not many corners, 8 corners on this track. A little bit of the gravel was touched there, might have put off his tyres, but DRS open as he unloads the steering, and across the line he goes. That was a 1:11.018. Not a bad opening lap at all from William Foyle. Thank you to William for taking us on a tour of Salzburgring then. Mark Hayman came across the line. He's second in the championship. He is fourth at the moment. Orban Kilgren crosses the line and he is in 13th. The man who did so well in race 1 last week, 2 weeks ago, sorry, at Raceroom. Jonas Lindberg, a bit of a quiet season for him. He puts himself second at the moment, 0.2 of a second off William Foyle. And this is Petter Nyström. Petter, who's been very good in the feature races, he's been scoring many points this season, just keeping himself out of trouble. He puts himself 10th at the moment, rising from 15th to 10th, getting into the top 10. Its 8th position would be the one to look out for, which is currently held by 3rd in the championship, Ben Payne. Real close to the person he's tied with in points, Paul Hands in 7th. But William Foyle on another purple lap here. Not in sector 2, but in sector 1 he was. So that might still help out if he can get himself into the 1:10s. That'll be real good, but a loose rear end coming out the final corner. That might have cost him a bit of time. No, it hasn't. No, he's still got himself into the 1:10s. 0.7. That's a very, very good time from William Foyle, and that'll be very tough to beat. Something we have to point out at this point is ballast, though. William Foyle has the most ballast as he's the championship leader. This is based on your championship order. But later on in the night, ballast is based on your qualifying position. So wherever you qualify in the top 8, you will carry X amount of ballast for the feature race later on in the night. So if William Foyle qualifies pole, he'll be stuck with 40 kilos as he is now in the feature race. Alex Foyle coming across the line, put himself in 4th. And this is John Dowling with a purple second sector and a very good first sector. Can he get himself further up from 7th? Yes, he can. 2nd place for John Dowling. Impressive stuff from him, who had a great meeting 4 weeks ago at Oschersleben. Ended in disaster, sadly for him at Oschersleben. The tyres just getting a bit too worn and it got out of shape for him, and he lost contention for victory there. But Salzburgring might be redemption for John today. Orban Kilgren we're watching here, 16th at the moment. But we've seen him with some real good pace in this season and in the 92s. I believe he's put a win in the 92s at some point. I'll just check my stats. Yes, he has. He won race 2 at Zandvoort in the 92s. He hasn't won a race in these 2020s, but second being his best result at Raceroom 2 weeks ago. Jeff Perkins with a purple, first sector, fourth at the moment, and he did very, very well in practice, second quickest in practice in fact. Can he get himself round this corner with DRS still open? I believe he can. I don't think it was open, in fact, DRS. He'll come round towards the final split now. Sector 2, still purple, so not bad at all from Jeff Perkins. He touches the gravel, that's going to lose him shape, that's going to lose him a lot of time. He backs off a lot on that final corner. What potential was in there for Jeff Perkins? It's probably not going to happen. No, it's not. He stays fourth. But you've got to say there's plenty in the tank for Jeff Perkins to get further up the order. Jonas Lindberg with not bad split, but not such a good third split, keeps himself second at the moment. Jonas Lindberg, who we said has been quiet this season, looking very good right now. Petter Nyström with a personal best in Sector 1. Might he get himself further up from 14th on the grid? But look at that. All bar one car. The top 16. Only 2 seconds between them, and the top 9 less than a second. Real close on this track as there's not many corners and it's mostly flat out on this track. But the corners are very, very difficult in these cars. And it's not a very wide track, and the rear end just gets real loose on these cars when you're around about 3rd, 4th gear. But Petter Nyström gets himself into 12th there. Scott McLean, who hasn't really enjoyed the 2020s as much as he has the 92s. The 92s he's put in many a top 10 finishes. Coming round the fast right-hander there. Might he get himself better than 14th? Personal best in Sector 1. And I did happen to notice a lot of damage on his front end there. Green in Sector 2, so not bad from Scott despite the damage on his front end, which might have engine damage. Ollie Jansen, I believe, has just put himself into 8th place, but Scott McLean, with a clean final sector there, puts himself into 11th place, just behind his teammate Ben Payne. Oh, and a big crash for William Foyle coming out the final sector. He was purple on both splits, pushed a little bit too hard. Doesn't need to go any faster, you've got to say, because qualifying is nearly over. Unless anyone can put in a surprise. Jonas Lindberg's still out on the track, as is Jeff Perkins, as is Mark Hayman. Second in the championship is Mark Hayman. Petter Nyström not threatening Will Foyle in those splits, but will put himself better to 10th place. He knocks Ben Payne and Scott McLean out of 10th and 11th. Brilliant time from Petter Nyström in the dying moments of qualifying here. Jonas Lindberg, one last gasp for pole position. Can he do it? Through Sector 1, personal best for Sector 2. It is not better, it is neither green nor purple, so this third split has to be pretty decent. And the qualifying results coming up fairly early, as they usually do. Jonas Lindberg will cross the line and stays where he is, second place. But William Foyle takes pole position here at Salzburgring, unsurprisingly the championship leader. Jonas Lindberg in second, impressive from him. John Dowling third, his best qualifying performance of the season. Jeff Perkins takes fourth, with Mark Hayman in a disappointing for him 5th. Alex Foyle takes 6th, with Ian Deeney 7th, and Ollie Jansen 8th. We'll get those results back up for you. That is just what Raceroom does, unfortunately, people. There is no control from the commentator or broadcaster over the results appearing and disappearing. So Ollie Jansen, 8th place. The place you want to be in Race 1 if you're around about the mid-pack. As pole position is whoever finishes 8th in Race 1. Heike Navalov, who's had a strong start to the season, but in this mid part of the season hasn't really been top flight as much as he has been at the start. He takes 9th, but completing that trio of Swedes, 10th place, Petter Nyström. Ben Payne, 3rd in the championship, a disappointing 11th for him, with Scott McLean alongside him in 12th. But time for 3rd, Paul Hans in 13th. Over a second off of pole position. Orban Kjellgren in 14th. Rel TK took 15th. 16th, Jürgen Madsby Pedersen. Virginius Mazalinskas in 17th. And Gabriel Lopez, late into the server, hasn't had much practice. He's in 18th there. So there we go, William Foyle. This takes pole position. There's no bonus points or anything like that for taking pole position. But here is how the points work throughout the night. You go... It ranges from 40 to 0. on the heats, and the second heat exactly the same with 40 to 0 range. But then the feature race, triple the time, therefore triple the points. 120 points on offer for winning the feature race. So doing well in the feature race is key if you're fighting for the championship. And of course, as we mentioned, your qualifying results decide what ballast you carry for the feature race. So William Foyle has 40 kilos coming into tonight's race, will have 40 kilos in the feature race as well. But his championship rival Mark Hayman, qualifying 5th, will have a bit less, 20 kilos less. And believe me, on this track, that makes all the difference. So just a reminder of the championship coming into tonight. William Foyle on 576 points, 38 ahead of Mark Hayman in second. But we're about to go very shortly for round 4 here of the Crest Autosport DTM 2020 League on Raceroom here at the Salzburg Grand Prix Arena in Western Austria. My name is Alex Everett, commentator of Crest Autosport. Do give us a subscribe on Twitch, YouTube, or follow and like on Facebook if you're watching there. And do check out our description for our sponsor links. But enough of that, the racing is about to get underway. Pole positions William Foyle, lights are red. Away we go. Not a bad start from William Foyle at all. Jeff Perkins got away well, nips into 3rd place right away ahead of John Dowling, and we head down towards the chicane. Hopefully there's no drama here. Up the inside of Jonas Lindberg goes Jeff Perkins, and up the inside Alex Foyle of Mark Hayman. And they're not really getting through safe and sound just yet, and there is Gabriel Lopez in 12th place. A huge start for him. But everyone manages to get through. William Foyle leads away at the front with Jeff Perkins nipping into 2nd place. Alex Foyle from 6th on the grid to 4th so far. Heike Navaluf has got himself past John Dowling, who's slipping down the order. From 3rd to 8th so far has gone John Dowling, and he's now got Ben Payne to worry about behind him as well. Coming down towards the fast right-hander. Ben Payne looking to the inside, but it's not really a prime overtaking opportunity. A good run out of here gets you the overtaking opportunity. But back there, Ollie Janssen versus Paul Hans, and Janssen hangs on to 10th place for the moment. But at the end of lap 1, Jeff Perkins is 2nd, not far away from William Foyle at all, but they broke away from Jonas Lindberg behind them. Foyle leads the first lap here at Salzburgring. Coming down towards turn 1, the chicane. And this is Ian Deeney outside of his teammate Heike Navaluf. Let's Heike get back in front, but a bit of a nudge up the rear. Oh, there's a spin. There's a spin from, that wasn't Per Nyström. That was Jonas Lindberg. Lindberg spun at the chicane. We were watching Ian Deeney and couldn't catch Lindberg, who's really struggling to get away after the spin. But what was looking like a promising start to the night for Jonas Lindberg has gone away, and Jürgen Mansby Pedersen and I believe that's Royal TK getting a bit confused trying to pass him or not pass him. But it's going to be a long night ahead of Jonas Lindberg as he has to catch back up. He'll still get 2nd on the grid for the feature race, but back at the front. Jeff Perkins real close to William Foyle here. And that's Alex Foyle not far behind at all. He's really caught up on this lap with Jonas Lindberg out of the way. Sharp turn to the right to get into this chicane. You want a real composed line through the chicane here to get a good exit and down onto the Red Bull straight here. DRS open for Jeff Perkins as he follows William Foyle. Closing in rapidly on the black Audi. I always say Mercedes with William Foyle because that's what he likes driving. You've got to be so careful across the bumps. The back end just gets spat out when you ride those curbs too hard and too fast. All hands with a slow down penalty, so 9th place at the moment for him. Not a bad progression behind his championship rival Ben Payne, but a slow down to serve for him. This is Alex Foyle. The view in front of him is of 2nd and 1st, Jeff Perkins and his brother William Foyle. And look at this, Jeff Perkins is getting alongside William Foyle. William Foyle with a lot more ballast on board than Jeff Perkins, and Perkins has got through Alex Foyle is alongside his brother now, coming into the right-hander. Brilliant move from Alex Foyle. Well, it's not. He's sideways and he spins it. Into the wall he goes, and that might be huge damage for him. He has to keep it off track, not to disturb anyone else's race, but that was bad luck indeed for Alex Foyle. Hitting the grass on the inside, it just spat the car out. And William Foyle will see that as a bit of a lifeline, as he dropped 2 places in a matter of 1 straight, but now he has got DRS open following Jeff Purkis down this front straight. Jeff Purkis leads at the end of lap 3 here at Salzburgring. And Mark Hayman finds himself in 3rd place, much better than where he was come qualifying. Ian Deeney following his teammate Navalov. Navalov, who didn't have such a good qualifying, much better in this race, just picking off each position as they come. Alex Foyle has got away again. A bit of damage on that car probably present for him, but there is still a chance with more than half the race left for him to get back towards reverse grid contention. Back with Ian Deeney. Backs off a huge amount coming into the long right-hander. They're not as confident through there as Navalov is, who's gaining considerably on Mark Hayman ahead of him. But William Foyle, back in front of Jeff Purkis, overtaking him on the back straight there. And another swap for the lead. It's a bit like IndyCar, sometimes battling on that back straight here at Salzburgring with the DRS. And push to pass. Jeff Purkis real close to William Foyle, who had push to pass on coming down that front straight, so he must be nervous about Jeff Purkis. Now we'll keep our eyes peeled on these two as they come out of turn 3 now and on to the main straight. Let's get on board with Jeff Purkis. Williams had a good start to this lap and stretched away a little bit, but let's see how much Jeff Purkis can reel in William Foyle. DRS is not even open. He's just using the draft and just reeling in William Foyle on more ballast. Will he be able to put it up the inside? He tries the outside. He backs off a little bit as they come round the right-hander. Jeff Purkis just deciding to sit behind William Foyle and be patient about this. See if William Foyle makes a mistake, or try and get him on the final lap might be what Jeff Purkis is thinking. Ben Payne, who didn't have such a good qualifying, is having such a good race here. He was 11th on the grid, I believe, is up to 6th so far, with Alex Foyle dropping off and Jonas Lindberg and John Dowling. This has got him many positions. Navalov fairly close to Mark Hayman. Let's see if Navalov can get a good exit here. Mark Hayman taking a much wider line through turn 3. No DRS yet for Navalov, but look how much he's gaining on Mark Hayman. Navalov has a lot less ballast. In fact, he doesn't have any ballast on board to Mark Hayman's 35 kilos, so he'll be able to get alongside him here, coming down the back straight here. And on the outside he is. Side by side coming down the hill into the long right-hander. Brilliant race from these two, but Mark Hayman nips just back in front. Takes a bit more speed through that corner to get his rear bumper ahead of the front bumper of Navalov. Battle continues between them two. The end of lap 6. William Foyle still leads from Jeff Purkis right behind him. Navalov with Deeney to worry about as well. Navalov and Deeney are teammates, I believe, for Gavra Racing. You can see just below the name there. But with championships at stake, who knows what these teams will be planning amongst each other. Jeff Purkis hunted down William Foyle still. You can see him gaining on him down this straight. But Jeff is not worrying about push to pass or DRS. There's nothing to say because you get 3 per lap regardless. But he's just happily sitting behind William. And When they pass this time by, there'll be 2 laps to go based on the time. The lap here is about 1 minute 10, 1 minute 11 as you can see on the fastest lap of Jeff Purkis. 1 minute 11 is a little bit slower than I thought these would do. I thought they'd be doing 1 minute 10s. The DRS now open for Jeff Purkis. Now he feels the time to attack on William Foyle. Oh, and a big cut of that chicane there. Very alarming noise, but nothing to worry about for Jeff Purkis by the sounds of it. He keeps on going round the right-hander here. He needs a good run through here. There's been a swap of position somewhere. Ian Deeney has spun coming out the chicane, and that is big damage on that car. And he retires back to the pits. That is race over for Ian Deeney, but he'll get to try again in race 2. But that's such a shame for him. He was running 5th. 5th now has been promoted to Ben Payne, who has his championship rival right behind him in 6th place. Jeff Purkis, though, right behind William Foyle. He feels now's the time to attack. With this lap and 1 more to go, he backs off a lot coming around the right-hander. Coming down the hill, William Foyle will hold the position. And this is Ben Payne and Paul Hans still battling. But Ben Payne hangs on to the position, covering the inside. Paul Hans will try again. Mark Hayman sitting happy in 3rd place at the moment. He broke away from Navalov now. But here is the battle for the lead. Jeff Purkis. Got to say, he only really has 1 more opportunity down that back straight. On board with him, that is the gap to William Foyle. We know he can close that in quite quickly. Question is, can he pass William Foyle? Coming around the right hand, oh, Jeff Purkis understeers a lot. William Foyle looked a lot cleaner through there, but Jeff Purkis will pull him in. Will he be able to get past him though? DRS not even open. Push to pass on now. Not sure if DRS is open, but look how much he's reeling in. William Foyle. He'll go to the inside, coming into the long right-hander. And up the inside he goes. He's holding the inside. William Foyle tried to close in a little bit. Has to hold the outside. Coming around the right-hander now. Jeff Purkis still got his nose on the inside. William Foyle will now have the inside for the next corner. Final lap here at Salzburgring. And Jeff Purkis gets himself in front. Into the final corner we go. Jeff Purkis. Can he get around this corner safe and sound? He didn't have a good exit there, and him and William Foyle, photo finish coming across the line, but Jeff Purkis takes the win here at Salzburgring race 1 with a brilliant move on the final lap there on William Foyle. Great battling between them two. Mark Hayman takes 3rd place, being a spectator of the battle in front of him then. Navalov with 4th place, Ben Payne from 11th to 5th, Paul Hans from 13th to 6th. A brilliant comeback for Paul Hans. John Dowling with a little bit of drama on the opening lap in 7th in the end. But 8th place and pole position for race 2 will go to Ollie Hansen. Alex Foyle with drama at the front end. A few laps in will take 9th with Jonas Lindberg. Drama early on in the race takes 10th. He started 2nd in this race, but will start 2nd in the feature race, so plenty more for him to catch up on. Albin Kilgren takes 11th place. Roll TK in 12th. Jürgen Madsby Pedersen came through in 13th, just ahead of Petter Nyström. Virginius Majalinskas took 15th with Scott McLean in 16th. Gabriel Lopez comes through last of the finishers with Ian Deeney, a DNF sadly for him. But Jeff Purkis, your winner of this opening race of the night, and hasn't won a race yet this season in the 2020s. Has won 1 race in the 92s. It was race 1 at Zandvoort, but is first in the 2020s of what's been not the best of starts for Jeff Purkis, but the second half of the season now, is this the turnaround that he needs? Could well be. So the reverse grid, as we mentioned earlier, reverse 8. So that means Ollie Hansen will start on pole position. John Dowling getting a 2nd crack at the whip. He'll start 1 place above where he did in this race of 7th place. Paul Hans and Ben Payne break into the top 4 starting positions for race 2. Navalov will start 5th. Hayman will start 6th. William Foyle will start 7th with all that ballast on board, and Jeff Purkis will start 8th position. So there we go, that was race 1 of the day, and race 2 coming up very, very shortly. So a little bit more housekeeping before we get race 1 wrapped up and race 2 underway. We are proudly sponsored by the Grand Prix Box, so if you'd be so kind, check out the links in our description for our sponsors and affiliates of Grand Prix Box, being one of them, the online store for motorsport merchandise and memorabilia. Also check out Track Racer UK, one of our affiliates. You can purchase their products via our link in the description. 603 Autosport, give them a like on Facebook. Digital innovations for track racing modified cars. Freem UK and Lovely Stickers provide the prizes for these drivers, so the winner and top 3 potentially of these leagues will receive some lovely Freem UK motorsport apparel prizes and lovely stickers, which are effectively stickers that go on your sim racing setup, which is pretty cool. And you can get either custom designs or you can get pre-made designs based on real-life cars. But there you go, there's your classified results. Alex Foyle taking fastest lap in the end, but Jeff Purkis winning the race with a move on the final lap on William Foyle. Mark Hayman takes 3rd with Navalov in 4th. Ben Payne takes 5th with Paul Hans in 6th. John Dowling 7th, and pole position 8th place in this race. The pole position in race 2 will be Ole Janssen. So there we go, we'll be starting up with race 2 very, very shortly. Just a quick warm-up for the drivers here. And Alex Foyle getting out nice and early to practice his start, or get a bit warmed up, acclimatised to the track, which is now on afternoon settings, so the temperature adjusts a little bit. Decides to do donuts. He must know we're watching, so we'll move on and watch someone else. Ben Payne with a fantastic comeback in that race. He'll be very, very chuffed with that. Not pleased with his pace in qualifying, I presume. Neither was Paul Hans, with credit to credit due. He gained the most places in that race. However, them two getting themselves up to 5th and 6th, inheriting a few positions off Dowling, Foyle and Leenberg, but they still had to get through quite a few cars to get to those positions. Now Ben Payne getting a little bit of practice, knowing he's 4th on the grid in this race, and knowing Paul Hans is 3rd on the grid, his championship rival. He'll want a good race, as will Mr. Hans himself. The only German resident in this series, but definitely feels at home in these cars, being 3rd in the championship. But not to forget the championship rivals 1 and 2 that are William Foyle and Mark Hayman, both in the pits at the moment. Mark Hayman, who would have dropped a few more points in that race, 5 more points to put himself over 40 points behind William Foyle. Still 2 races to go tonight, and one of them being the feature race where there's triple points, by the way. I've mentioned it a few times tonight, and I'll keep mentioning it. But Mark Hayman will want the upper hand on William Foyle in this race, and certainly the feature race later on. There are drop rounds available in this series. For anyone who might be wondering now what drop rounds are your lowest point score of the season wiped out, zeroed, and taken away, deleted from your total. So only 5 of the 6 rounds will actually accumulate to your final championship score. That drop round will be applied after round 5 and will not count in round 6. So round 6 needs to be a good one for all these drivers. But never mind that, we're getting underway with race 2 of the Crest Autosport DTM 2020 Raceroom Leagues here at Salzburgring. Round 4 of the DTM 2020 edition. Ole Janssen is on pole position. Alongside him is John Dowling. Away we go. Janssen gets away, but it's a good start from Paul Hans behind him. Coming down towards turn 1 they go. Can everyone get through the chicane safely again? But this is John Dowling on the inside of Janssen. Into turn 1 they go. It bunches up just a little bit. Some 3 wide situations here. They've got to be really careful. That's Jeff Perkins. And spun round is Ollie Janssen there. And there's a spin also from Albin Kjellgren, Jürgen Mansby Pedersen and Ian Deeney. So Ian Deeney's luck continues to fail him. And they're all recovering to get back away. But back at the front, John Dowling streaming away at the front there. Oh, in first place already and 1 second clear. Ben Payne gets himself into second place, ahead of his championship rival, Paul Hans. Hayman gets himself up to 4th place from 6th place already, with Navalov behind him. But look at this is Ben Payne alongside championship rival for 3rd place in the championship, Paul Hans, who's on his inside, coming around the long right-hander. Oh, Hayman drifting out a little bit wide on cold tyres there, gets back to the inside. That's William Foyle back there alongside his brother and alongside Jeff Perkins. He's also got Lindberg looking at him, as Alex. Coming through the chicane here, it is John Dowling who leads at the end of lap 1, 1 second clear of Paul Hans in 2nd place. And we're looking at Jeff Perkins, who's got DRS open, I believe, and is looking to the inside of Heike Navalov. Backs out of it in the end. William Foyle right behind him there. Oh, and that's Ben Payne. Oh, and his huge drama there. Jeff Perkins spun and Alex Foyle spun. That's Mark Hayman, I think. Oh no, that's Paul Hans. Paul Hans drops off. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. I think one spun and everyone just sort of went with the flow. But this has really juggled up the order, and some drivers making it through safe and sound, some haven't. Mark Hayman's got through safe and sound into 2nd place. He's got Navalov to worry about alongside now. William Foyle managed to get through, but Ben Payne and Paul Hans back down to 9th and 11th. So coming into turn 4, Hayman stays in 2nd. Navalov backs off ever so slightly. So the order now is somewhat very strange. Roll TK finds himself into the top 6. Virginius Majalinskas hasn't even finished in the top 10 yet this season. He's in 7th right now. But Jeff Perkins, the winner of race 1, will need to bring on the comeback. And Alex Foyle, his luck continues. Excuse me, down in 14th for him at the moment. This is Lindberg following championship leader William Foyle on the inside going into the chicane. Lindberg backs out of it. Oh, and they've got to stamp on the brakes through there to make sure they get it through without, well, hitting the tyres effectively. DRS already open for Lindberg coming down this relatively short straight into turn 3. There are more turns than the ones I'm naming. Oh, and that's a car straight into the wall there. That's Scott McLean. Got loose coming out of turn 2. Can't get away. The grass is so slippery and these cars reverses back on. You're not allowed to do that in real life, but in a sim, obviously, it is exempt. As long as you do it safely. Navalov gets himself slightly in front, but is he able to get fully in front of Mark Hayman? Yes, he is. Gets himself into 2nd place for this 2nd race of the night. But John Dowling, what a drive from him so far. 3 seconds clear, just under 3 seconds clear of Navalov and Hayman, battling for 2nd place at the moment. Tripping over each other, so that's allowing John Dowling to get away. But also Dowling is driving very, very well indeed with a 1 minute 12, faster than anyone so far except for Navalov, who's just done an 11.7. Hayman stays behind Navalov on the front straight here. Nice and calm coming out of the chicane there. Majalinskas, who I mentioned earlier, hasn't finished in the top 10 yet this season as Jeff Perkins behind him, but a long gap to the cars behind. That's Paul Hans in front of Ian Deeney. So Hans into 9th, but he's a long way off the top 8, and Ben Payne is all the way down to 15th, so must have been more drama for him somewhere. Unfortunately, Raceroom, we cannot acquire replays. If we could, it'd be amazing. And William Foyle real close to Jonas Lindberg, coming around turn 4 now. Down the hill into turn 5. He backs off and will try again on another lap. Half the session to go.
Navalov gaining a little bit on John Dowling in this lap, about half a second. So him and Mark Hayman might be working together to catch up. Dowling and Hayman would probably consider them friends, but Hayman up the inside, slick move, oh, so close, and he does spin it, in fact, it's straight into the wall. What has that done to Mark Hayman? He's stuck on the tyres as well. Back on the track and on the racing line, which isn't good. Oh, thankfully, oh, he did that just in time, but Mark Hayman, who took a gamble on the overtake into the very difficult to overtake chicane here at Salzburgring, gets himself stuck on the tyres, and that has dropped him a lot of positions and might drop him a lot of points. Not ideal for him, but Navalov gets that position back. But with what happened, has let Lindberg get him under attack. Oh, Lindberg getting on the grass, and he's run wide. Oh, we thought Lindberg was going to go off there, but just about gets away with it. But that's William Foyle on the back of this train here. Navalov hangs on to second place for the minute, and that means John Dowling is clear by 4 seconds now. All he has to do is just bring in the laps, does Dowling, because Navalov is now tripping over Lindberg and Foyle behind him. And with that, Raul TK is promoted to 5th place. This would be his best result of the season in any of the competitions. He's had 1 top 8 in the DTM 2020s. And he's had a 7th in the 92s. So William Foyle on the back of this train here will go on board with him. And William Foyle, knowing his championship rival is down in 12th place, Mark Hayman there. He knows he's getting big points. Knows he doesn't have to take too many risks now. And that is, oh, so close. Lindberg trying the inside of Navalov again, but couldn't quite make it, and that allowed William Foyle to close right up on the 2 Swedish drivers. Up through the chicane. Lindberg taking deeper lines, but he's got William Foyle to worry about, as well as trying to get a good run on Navalov in front of him down this back straight. That's on board from Lindberg, and you see William Foyle in the rear view television now. Oh, and Lindberg very late on the brakes. Too late? No, not quite. What a move from Jonas Lindberg, and gets a little bit out of shape. Oh, and there we go. It was too good to be true. Lindberg slips up, and that's allowed Foyle and Navalov back through. Foyle just keeping his nose out of trouble here, just picking off every position as they come to him. Now it's his turn to try on Navalov. DRS open to stay in front of Lindberg, to catch up with Navalov, one or the other. Push to pass also enabled. He'll try for the move on, when we get a better camera angle. He's going for the inside of Navalov, coming into turn 4. We go. Round he goes, and through he goes. Not even running wide. Oh, a little bit twitchy from William Foyle. Oh, that could have been a godsend for Mark Hayman, and he blocks off Navalov. He's not giving him any room, and Navalov not giving up, staying on his inside. Foyle is now got the inside for the chicane, but can Navalov hang on? No, he can't. Oh, and he loses the position to Lindberg. So with Navalov trying a bit of muscle on William Foyle, and in fact got out of shape. What's happened to Navalov here? He looked very out of shape there coming out of the last corner. May have hit tyres, not sure. He would have dived in the pits, I think, if that had happened. But back there, Majalinskas versus Ian Deeney. Deeney will try the inside in the chicane, but Majalinskas hangs on. Foyle guarding off from Paul Hans as well. Everyone getting so out of shape through that chicane in this race, and if you've got to think about it, race 3 might be worse. So this is battle for 7th place, but there's no reverse grid contention here. This is purely points, this race is. And look at this could be a 3 wide. Oh, and Alex Foyle took it straight across Paul Hans there. But they get away with it. Majalinskas staying in front of Ian Deeney, staying in front of Paul Hans. They're side by side now. Into the turn 4 they go. Deeney inside of Hans. Oh, Oh, and Hans trying to get back on that inside, but Dini's not letting him have it. Dini's had a good comeback here, by the way, from the back to 8th place now. A little bit of understeer there, takes a bit of the gravel, and look at all these cars bunched up for position here. Hayman's on the back of this train, as is Nystrom. But we got Dowling on the final lap, so we'll have to cut to him eventually. It's been a brilliant, brilliant lights to flag from him. But look at this, could it be 3 wide going into the chicane? It might just be. Oh, and Paul Hans covers off Alex Foyle, as does Hayman. Gets himself back into the top 10, and that's a slow running Navalov. Navalov has messed up in the chicane, spun it potentially, and that means Lindberg's promoted to 3rd place. And that promotes everyone 1 place. Dini got a good exit from turn 3, gets himself in front of Majalinskas early on. That's what he wanted. And that gets him away from Paul Hans, who's looking to the rear of Majalinskas now. Coming down towards turn 4. And Hans wasn't able to get on the inside of Majalinskas, who hangs on well. Tries the inside, oh, and Majalinskas covers the inside, but Hans is able to squeeze up the inside. Into the chicane they go, but John Dowling wins race 2 here at Salzburgring, with William Foyle finishing 2nd place. Lindberg takes 3rd place. Jeff Perkins in 4th. Roll TK with his best finish in the series so far. Ian Dini 6th, and look at this at the back here. Paul Hans takes 7th in the end. Majalinskas with his best result in the series, 8th. Mark Hayman takes 9th with Alex Foyle in 10th. Petter Nystrom 11th. Ollie Hansen with drama early on takes 12th in the end. Jürgen Madsby Pedersen, who was collected on that instant at the start of the race, takes 13th. 14th, Heike Navalov. Ben Payne 15th. With drama early on for him, unfortunately. Orbin Kielgren 16th. Scott McLean with a spin in the chicane earlier on takes 17th. Gabriel Lopez will come through 18th. But your race winner, John Dowling. Yeah, Raceroom doing its thing. So there we go. That was the 2nd race of the night, and a little bit more contact in that. More contact than we've seen all season. A bit naughty from the drivers, getting a bit restless at this point in the season. But we have a feature race coming up very, very shortly, in approximately 10 minutes time. So don't go away and do tune in for that, as it'll be very, very exciting, judging by what's happened so far tonight. The grids will be based on qualifying, which are these. William Foyle will start on pole position for the feature race, with Jonas Lindberg in 2nd. John Dowling will take 3rd on the grid, with Jeff Perkins in 4th. And we'll run through this as we come back very shortly. We'll go away for a quick break while everything gets set up for race 3 of the night.
Welcome back to Salzburgring for round 4 of the Crest Autosport Raceroom League's DTM 2020 Championship. These races are sponsored by the GP Box, the Motorsport Marketplace, an online store for motorsports merchandise and memorabilia. You can find their link in our description of these live streams, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch or Facebook. Prizes for this league are thankfully donated by Freem UK and lovely stickers. Tonight's track is Salzburgring in Western Austria, a stone's throw away from the German border, 300 kilometers west of Vienna and 130 kilometers southeast of Munich. The track only cost £2.61 on Raceroom, nice and cheap, and it's a pretty exciting track as we're seeing tonight. Coming up shortly, we have the 30-minute feature race, where there's triple the duration, there's also triple the points. The points that the drivers would score in the sprint races, they are for triple in this one. And the grids are based on the qualifying results, which we will go through very shortly.